Okay, we just passed our pressure test. I showed you that. We had 10 minutes vacillating between a tenth of a psi. So that's perfect. It never went up, never went down. It was just perfect in 10 minutes. And that's what you can get when you use a Testo pressure gauge. It literally shows you tenth of a psi. All right, totally awesome. Anyway, way better than any other ones I've tried. Okay, down at the bottom, I'm going to go ahead and call it. Down at the bottom left, you'll see the time. That's the time we're at right now. And it's been 10 minutes. And it's been vacillating between 551.3 and 551.2 for the last 10 minutes. And so I'm going to go ahead and call it. It's perfect. And we're going to go ahead and start our vacuuming. And this is how good the Testo gauge is. The Testo gauge is vacillating between 551.2 and 551.3, and that is vacillating between a tenth of a psi. Okay, as I said before, I got a bunch of different digital tools, pressure gauges, and like ELITech will give you half a psi. A half a psi. You know, I'd never see this on a half a psi. I'm talking about we're vacillating between a half of a tenth of a psi. Okay, and so if you had to wait for an entire half of a psi to come by, it would be, minimum 50 minutes trying to wait to see if it had any kind of modulation. Anyway, Testo is the only one to get. It's the only one that works in tenth of a psi's. They're perfect. All right, anyway, moving on to vacuuming. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start our vacuuming procedures. Okay, it's been an hour and a half, and it's holding at 332. I don't like it to go that high, but like I said, I'm not sure what happened. Normally, I don't get any kind of, I had it like at, if I remember right, it was at 88 or something. And normally, I just allow it to go at 188. But I decided to go, instead of a 10-minute DK test, I decided to go an hour and a half, and just to see where it would rise to. And it went all the way up to 332. So it's fine. It stopped. And so it's not going any higher. And it's been like that for just about an hour. And so anyway, I'm going to call it and go ahead and release the refrigerant into the system. So at this point, once you're at this point now, we have the, we're done. We did our pressure test up to 550 pounds. You saw that. We did our vacuuming, and we got to 332. They say it's good if it's under 500 microns. So I'm going to leave it there. And it's not rising, so it's definitely held, and that's perfectly fine. And so we're going to, at this point, release our refrigerant into the system. Okay, and I'll show you how we do that. Okay, our next step is we're going to release a little bit of refrigerant, just enough because we're under vacuum right now, and the system's under a vacuum, so we don't want to mess with our vacuum at all. So we want to add a little refrigerant from the system. Okay, not much. It'll stop right here. I want to be able to add it so I can put my valve core back in. Okay, so I sit there. What you want to do is just take it and pop it for a second. Okay, and then turn it right back down. So that's it. It just gave you enough pressure to back pressure the system. So now I can take this off and put the valve core back in. Okay, I'll show you how to do that. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to put the valve core back in. Okay, because it's valved off right here, you can only go so far in. So just bring this part of the tool up. Okay, so you bring it up and you insert it in there and you screw it on a little bit. Okay, and you don't do it very tight. And so what we're going to do is I want to release it and let whatever air is in there push it out. See how it is not pushed out? And then just release a little bit. So we just release that air out of there. Okay, now screw that back on. Okay, so now I have the valve core in there. I got to push it up, and at the same time I'm pushing, I'm going to be holding with my thumb because it's under pressure. So you got to push it in with your thumb and then start screwing it in while you're holding it up with your thumb so that you're beating the pressure of the system. Okay, as soon as you got it up there, you can feel it's tight. You can release it. Okay, then you valve it off again. Okay, and now I just want to go ahead and remove this here. And these things don't have the magnetic ones like the Apion does, but they're still, it's a good tool. It's a Navac tool, and they have the 1/4 inch and 5/16. You know, they come with both, so that's pretty good part of the tool also. So anyway, at this point it's valved off, but now we want to find out if the valve core actually held. So we open it up a little bit, and you can see that it held. So now we want to test it. So valve it back off again, and we'll go ahead and test it. Okay, I'm going to use the test plug. It's a little test cap. It's just a regular cap. I just drill a hole in it. Okay, so we sit there and put that on here, and we're just going to be testing to see if the Schrader valve actually is holding. They say a Schrader valve should be used once and then replaced. This is my test unit, and I don't believe that I've ever replaced it. I think it's only the 7th or 8th pull, but we'll see if it leaks now. It's, like I said, it's been 7 or 8 times I've used it now for this same situation, so maybe I'm a try to see how long it'll actually last. So you go like this, you have it all set up right here. And so by doing this, we should be able to see bubbles if it leaks at all. And as you can see, there's no bubbles, and so it's not leaking at all. So okay, so that's for, like I said, 7 or 8 times. So yeah, they don't. I don't know that they're one and done at all. Anyway, so that's working perfectly, and the valve core is now fine. So of course we can just release the whole system. So I'll take this off. And then our adapter. As I said, the Navac Comes with the 1/4 inch and 5/16 adapter on the same valve core removal tool, so that's a pretty good bargain. Anyway, so everything's fine now. At this point, we're just going to go ahead and release the refrigerant into the system. So it's already got a little bit in there. But now we can tell, even if something had failed, if something had happened with our putting the valve core back in or anything else, we only had a little bit of refrigerant in there. And so that was a good way of doing it and showing you that you can do this without endangering your refrigerant. Okay, a very little tiny bit was in there, just a second or so worth of refrigerant. And so, but now we're going to release all of it into the system. Okay, so you sit there and take that and simply go around. I caught the little tool. I caught my pressure gauge up in the excitement. Okay, and it has a little stop on there, and it stops. You don't have to go any farther than that. It has a little stop in there, and it'll hold it up where it goes. Now do the top one. Okay, it's like I said, little stops in there, so you don't have to think about it. And at this point, we would go ahead and we put a little nylog on there like that, a little nylog on all three of them, and put it in, because these things have caps. They're not just for make it look pretty. They're part of the system that's sealing it. Okay, and so it's important to have the caps on there and have them tightened up with nylog, because it helps seal. You don't just trust the O-rings in there. You don't just trust the Schrader valve in there. You put this thing on there with a little bit of nylog on the threads and the flare face, whatever part you got, and then you are just take your crescent wrench here. Let me go ahead and do that real quick. Take your crescent wrench, and now that you have them on there, and just snug it up, because again, that's part of the seal. The seal is not just the O-rings or the Schrader valve. It is these things here. That's part of the seal. So just snug it up a little bit. They don't have to be much. Just make sure it does nothing leaks. Okay. That's it. Now they're nice and tight. And at this point, we'll go ahead and push the disconnect in. It's not in the video, so you won't be able to see it. But I'll push the disconnect in, and then I will fire up the inside unit. And it's because it's summertime, I'm going to put it on cool mode and 60 degrees and turbofan. And that's going to use the most pressure. So before we had nitrogen pressure test, and that was ambient air. It's just in there, it's under that pressure, and it held. But now we're about to see working pressure. The compressor is going to be working. Everything's going to be pushed. The EEV valve is going to be moving all around. Everything's going to be working. It's going to be a system working, a whole different kind of pressure. So we had full-on pressure, that was good, but now we're going to have different pressure. Now we want to test all 7 joints. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the 2 at the IDU connection, okay, the line set connection. So there's 7 connections. You want to turn it on, and then take some Better Bubble spray. Better Bubble spray, or, we have the Better Bubble spray, or the Dauber. Okay, so either way, you use that, or we use this. Both work fantastic. So you want to sit there, and we'll spray that to make sure it's working under full pressure. So I'll go ahead and get my thing set up, and we'll go from there. Okay, we got it all set up now. We'll go ahead and turn it on, and we'll turn it to turbofan and 60 degrees. All right, we got the thing turned on now, starting to cook, and we will go ahead and give that a minute to go as high as it goes, and we're going to, again, our final test is to test all 7 joints. So I'm going to spray every joint, and I'll let you watch me do that. So we have it on the inside, we have it on turbofan, 62 degrees, and cool mode. Okay, and the outside's churning away, it's cranking like crazy, and we're going to spray our joints, all 7 joints, the 5 here and the 2 at the line set, IDU line set, and double check there's nothing leaking under full pressure. So this is as much pressure you're going to get in the summer right here, right now. It's going from hot to cold. So this is full pressure at this moment. So now you want to do your testing to find out if anything leaks. And I'll show you that. When you're doing the spraying, of course you're going to just spray it. You're looking for leaks. This stuff's thick and gnarly. So you're looking for leaks, but to be able to really tell what the bottom is, you want to make sure you're coating the bottom and you're holding it there with your hand. So just in case there's a bubble underneath, it'll show up. Okay. All right, plenty of bubblicious, and nothing's leaking there. I'll do the top 2, and then we'll be set with our final test. All you want to look for is double check there's no leaking whatsoever. You've already done your pressure check, you've already done your vacuuming, you already know everything works, but now it's under the full pressure of the actual machine. Compressor's moving, everything's moving. So now you want to test those joints. So now that you're all done, I'll go ahead and check mine and let you know. Okay, double checked everything and nothing's leaking. So I just want to show you the temperature. Okay, so apparently it goes down to 43.7. Yeah, 43.2, all right, 42. I'm not sure where to put it to get the best, but 42 seems like good enough. So anyway, it was a 42.6, and like I said, I don't know where to put this thing to get the best data, but anyway, 42.6 seems to be fine. Okay, 42.1. All right, so anyway, it gets down to 41.4, and that seems to be cold. So, all right, anyway, I'm not going to stand here all damn day. Whatever it gets, it gets. All right, in case any of you were unaware, this is my test unit I bought just for this process of being able to do work and to do tests on it. And if anybody has an issue with something, I try to find out what way it really happens. So I use this for all the testing procedures, and if anybody questions something, I double check everything. So I have this system available to double check. So if you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to put them down below, and I will walk you through any system at all. We're going to go ahead and do the pump down here in a minute, pump the refrigerant down into the system, and that'll be my next video, how to put the refrigerant back inside your ODU.